I worked almost every day. I communicated with foreigners. I looked at it one more time. I decided to follow this advice. He asked me a couple questions. It seemed a wise decision. I watched all this movie. They lived very happily. He moved to another city. He worked as a sales manager. I tried to do my best to improve my previous result. It seemed a very wise decision. I communicated with people from different countries. She advised me to read this article. She worked as a consultant. She moved to another place. I decided to follow this recommendation. It happened to me so unexpectedly. It happened to us so unexpectedly. I really liked that explanation. I followed this recommendation. I really liked this explanation. We turned back. I needed to say something. I decided to stay at home. I believed him in the beginning. I used that service from time to time. I used this service from time to time. I think that it changed my life. I watched all the movie. They often talked on the phone. I called him back about 10 minutes ago. I followed her advice. He called me back an hour ago. I continued this very intensive course. It was very dark and we turned back. I tried to do my best to achieve this aim. I looked at the screen. I wanted to go on holiday. We played different games together. I was at the exhibition and communicated with foreigners. I watched all the video. I asked him a couple questions. He advised me to do it. I really wanted to visit this place. I needed to stay at home. These trainings really helped me. I decided to do it later. I started this course last month. We talked about different things. The factory produced toys. They produced different goods. I really loved spending time there. I expected a higher income. I returned home later than usual. I often listened to music. He expected a higher salary. He died when he was 70. It created new problems. He opened the door and then closed it. I waited for him a bit. I remembered everything. I decided not to do it. I decided not to waste time. I opened the box and I was very surprised. I stayed at home. The factory produced different products. I hoped to win. it created new difficulties. I was very tired and I decided to stay at home. I decided to listen to it. I often walked in the park when I had free time. I decided not to tell him about it. I passed the test successfully. I agreed to do it. I hoped to get this job. We really loved spending time together. Who killed him? I thanked them for their help. I often listened to this program. I tried to develop my talents. The teacher explained everything very clearly. It developed my analytical abilities. They stopped talking. I waited for it a little. I stopped wasting my time. I expected a better result. I often walked in the park when I had more free time. I joined the group. I thanked him for his support. He agreed to help us. I joined this group. I passed the exam successfully. He always supported me when I was in trouble. He offered me his help. They refused to help him. I improved my listening skills greatly thanks to this practice. I prepared for this exam. I improved my English greatly thanks to this kind of practice. Everyone arrived on time. I'm so happy that I achieved this aim. I'm so happy that I really achieved this aim. I answered this question. He refused to answer this question. I checked everything. I shared this video with my friends. I traveled quite often. I mostly ordered it online. He cleaned his room. I answered all the questions. I hated doing it. I saved all the documents. She cleaned the room. He smiled at her and she smiled at him. I mostly ordered it in the shop. They delivered the parcel on time. She cried suddenly. I really enjoyed doing it. He only cared about himself. I trained very intensively. I preferred to stay at home. I expressed my attitude to it. This theory really existed. My friend shared this link with me. I expressed my personal point of view. She danced professionally. I saved all the files. I arrived at the airport 10 minutes ago. They delivered my parcel on time. I improved my English thanks to these regular trainings. He only cared about money. The band released a new album. I prepared for this test. I repeated my question again. I checked all the documents. I really hated it. I preferred to plan everything. I enjoyed spending time with my friends. This speech really inspired me. We discussed everything. It really mattered. I found some mistakes and corrected them. I corrected all the mistakes. He complained about it to the manager. He jumped very high. I washed the dishes. It depended on different factors. She washed the floor. This business belonged to him. I really worried about it. The soldiers destroyed that building completely. I finished this work 10 minutes ago. They often laughed at it. He kissed her. This author published several articles. She failed the exam. He failed this exam. He failed the test. They controlled everything. He invited me to this party. I wished him good luck. His words sounded really strange. They thought that this thing wasn't so important, but it really mattered. He recorded a new video. I studied almost every day. They often laughed at him. I wished her all the best. I visited this island last year. She cooked a very tasty cake. The success of this project depended on each of us. This result really motivated me. I invited her to my birthday. They destroyed this building completely. She decided to complain about it to the manager. This writer published more than 10 books.